Hi, this is Ellie and you're watching Ferns on the Porch. Has God ever woken you up a little bit early, just maybe to tell you something? I felt like that happened to me today. I woke up at like 4:30 and could not go back to sleep. So I was able to have a quiet house. Everybody was still sleeping and I could do my Bible reading in silence, which is very rare in my house. But it was really awesome because the story I came across today just kind of like opened up fresh for me. It's something that I've heard lots of times before, and that's the parable of the lost son. You can find it in Luke 15. For those of you who maybe aren't super familiar with the Bible or maybe new to all of this, the parable of the lost son is one of those stories that maybe you've heard before. It's one that's really familiar. Just to kind of paraphrase, Jesus is telling a story about, a father, and he has two sons, and one son maybe basically goes off and squanders all his money, but then realizes that he's living, a very poor, sad life, goes back to his father, and his father welcomes him. But what caught me today in reading this story was the contrast of a couple of words. The first one, the father refers to his son as, he says, he was lost and now he's found. He was dead and now he was alive. And I was really kind of stuck on those two pairs of words, is lost and found and dead and alive. And the thought that kind of came to me was, there's really no in between for either one of those things. You can't really be a little bit lost. I think we've all tried to fool ourselves a little bit, probably with that. If we're in a new town or a new building or something, we might say, I'm just a little turned around. Well, you either know where you are or you don't. So you can't be a little lost. You're lost or you're found. The same thing with being dead. I mean, you can't be a little bit dead. You're either dead or you're alive. There's no in between with that. And these words are often used when we talk about, our walk with Jesus or our salvation, and how, God's plan was to give us a way. John 14:6, Jesus refers to himself as, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He is the way to get unlost and undead. He's the only way. And that was just really made clear to me today in a way that it hasn't been before. And when we think about, finding our way, if we're going to talk about being lost, you can't find the right way unless you recognize that you're lost. You have to know your lostness before you can find the right way. And I hope that encourages you today, or maybe, brings something to light for you. I know it did for me. But in thinking about Jesus and this Christmas season and God's plan for the salvation of the world through this little baby, his son, sent to earth, he's the way and the truth and the life. And he sent him to us so that we'd have a chance. So we have to recognize how lost and how dead we were before Jesus, and be thankful for that and grasp onto that. So I hope this encourages you today. Hopefully that's helpful. Make sure and look it up in Luke 15. And I'll leave you with one more quote that kind of, reminded me of this story and of this kind of truth of, being lost and dead. And it's from G.K. Chesterton. And he said, Jesus Christ did not come to make bad people good, but to make dead people alive. So just recognize today maybe how dead and how lost you were, and praise God that you're not anymore, that you can be found and alive fully in Jesus. So hopefully that's helpful for you today. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks.